Breaking news out of Washington has set the stage for one of the most heated debates in recent memory. JD Vance, the senator whose voice has grown louder on the national stage, has taken a position that has shocked both allies and opponents alike. While many critics are raising alarms, calling recent U.S. military strikes reckless, Vance is defending them, calling these strikes the highest and best use of American power. His words carry weight, and his defense has created ripples that stretch from Capitol Hill to living rooms across the nation, and far beyond America's borders. The question is simple, yet profound. Why would JD Vance defend something so controversial, something so divisive? And more importantly, what lesson does this moment hold not just for leaders, but for America as a nation, and yes, even for visionaries like Elon Musk? When Vance stood before cameras and reporters, he wasn't just defending policy. He was defending a philosophy of strength, of decisiveness, of unapologetic leadership. To some, it sounded like recklessness, a gamble with America's credibility and global stability. To others, it sounded like courage, a willingness to take responsibility for decisions most leaders would rather run from. And that is where the story begins to open up, because history has always remembered those who dared to act when the world hesitated. Think about it. Every great leader, every visionary, every pioneer has faced a moment where hesitation meant safety, but boldness meant transformation. JD Vance has chosen boldness in the realm of politics and global conflict. But this isn't just about missiles and military targets. It's about a deeper truth. The world rewards those who take decisive action, even when the cost is high. And this is where Elon Musk's story intertwines with Vance's defense, because Musk too has lived by the same principle, that greatness requires risk, that progress demands courage, and that those who wait for permission will be left behind. Elon Musk was once a man ridiculed for chasing impossible dreams. Building electric cars? They said it would never work. Sending rockets to space? They laughed and told him to leave it to NASA. Creating Starlink to connect the world? Critics called it too ambitious, too impractical. Yet every time, Musk faced the criticism with silence, with persistence, with relentless execution. He made the strikes in his own way, decisive moves against the odds, moves that carried failure as their closest companion. But he did not stop. And today, the same people who mocked him ride in Teslas, rely on his rockets, and use his satellites to connect across the globe. What JD Vance is doing politically is not identical to what Musk has done in technology, but the underlying principle is strikingly similar. Both are choosing to act when hesitation would be easier. Both are willing to stand in the fire of public criticism. What JD Vance is doing politically is not identical to what Musk has done in technology, but the underlying principle is strikingly similar. Both are choosing to act when hesitation would be easier. Both are willing to stand in the fire of public criticism. Both believe that history is written by those who dare. And America, watching this unfold, has a lesson to learn. Because nations, just like individuals, face crossroads every single day. At every fork in the road, there is a safe path. The path of comfort, of waiting, of listening to the crowd. And then there is the risky path. The path that invites criticism. The path that tests courage. The path that may fail but carries within it the seed of greatness. The military strikes defended by JD Vance are more than policy decisions. They are metaphors for every bold step a person or a nation takes. They symbolize that moment when silence is safer, but speaking out changes everything. That instant when waiting is easier, but acting defines destiny. And in this moment, America stands not just at a political crossroads, but at a moral and motivational one. Will the nation embrace boldness, or will it retreat into hesitation? And now let me speak directly to you, the viewer. Because this story is not just about Washington or Venezuela or politics, it's about you. When was the last time you hesitated because of fear of judgment? When was the last time you had the chance to take your own strike, a bold move, a leap of faith, but chose instead to wait, to doubt, to play it safe? Think about the opportunities you've let slip because the world's criticism felt louder than your own courage. That is the same crossroads leaders face, only magnified. And that is why this story is not just breaking news. It's a breaking mirror, showing us who we are and who we could be. Elon Musk teaches us through his silence, during storms of criticism, that persistence is more powerful than applause. He has failed publicly, lost billions, and been mocked on every stage imaginable. Yet he never stopped. JD Vance, in his own world, is taking a stand that could define his career for better or worse. He may be wrong, he may be right, but he is not hiding. And that is the essence of leadership, stepping into the fire when others step back. For America, the lesson is just as sharp. A nation that hesitates loses its place in history. A nation that acts even at great cost writes history. And for you as an individual, the same truth applies. Courage is costly. You will be criticized. You will be doubted. You will be misunderstood. But cowardice, hesitating, hiding, waiting for the perfect moment will cost you far more. It will cost you your future. It will cost you the chance to become who you were meant to be. So as the headlines rage as JD Vance defends his decision, and as America argues over the meaning of these strikes, remember the deeper truth. This is not just about politics. This is not just about military strategy. This is about leadership, about courage, about lessons that echo far beyond the battlefield. Elon Musk embodies it in technology. JD Vance embodies it in politics. And you can embody it in your own life. Because whether it's a nation deciding its role in the world, or a dreamer deciding to launch an idea, the principle never changes. History belongs to the bold. Every strike carries risk. Every bold move carries fear. But every hesitation carries regret. And when the dust settles, when the headlines fade, and when history turns its pages, it will not remember the critics. It will not remember the doubters. It will only remember those who acted. So today, as JD Vance defends military strikes, and as Elon Musk continues striking boldly against the limits of human imagination, ask yourself this: what strike are you afraid to make? What decision are you holding back on because the world might laugh? What dream are you delaying because failure feels too close? And then remember this: courage is costly, but cowardice is fatal. The lesson is not just for Musk. The lesson is not just for America. The lesson is for you. And that is why this story matters, not because it's just another headline, but because it's a mirror held up to every one of us. Boldness defines destiny. Silence never does.